Hey guys, so it's Margaret, your favorite Brooklyn broker. This is going to be a minute, so if you don't have time and you in a rush, just scroll past because I want to take the time to go over my deal that I just closed this afternoon. Every deal has a story, and that's what I love about my profession. There's a story behind every property, and the deal I closed this afternoon is no different. This was a property that was an estate. It was passed on to 5 children. The children don't live in Brooklyn. They're all over the place, all over the states. But the fact they cherish this property shows this property was well maintained, and you see it. You see the floors are beautiful, the walls are straight, painted, fireplaces are all intact, even though they're non-functional, they're beautiful. It's a humongous home. It's about 4,000 square feet, and for Brooklyn, 4,000 square feet is a lot. It's also semi-attached, which is a rarity to have all that light. And the cherry on the top is that there's a double lot in the backyard. The backyard extends to the neighbor's property. So the neighbor's backyard is cut in half. And this property on Carroll Street, the backyard goes all the way over to the neighbor. So it's a double lot in the back, and they could put a football field there. That is a rarity also in Brooklyn. I've seen it by one other property in Crown Heights, but the house itself was teeny and it had a double lot in the back. But here you have a humongous home and a double lot. So my lucky buyers really secured an amazing deal. And the story is that we did go into contract quietly. The sellers decided to bring in their own broker. Broker reached out to me and said, if you have a buyer, let's do it. And sellers did not want to put this on the market. They wanted to do it quick and quiet. And I brought in 2 buyers right away, and both of them wanted it. One got the contract, and unfortunately it didn't work out. That buyer was not trusting of what I said. I told them, go sign your contract, sign. And they had little issues with the contract details. And the problem is when a buyer feels that their attorney is a know-it-all, the be-all and know-all, without trusting what their broker is telling them. Now, attorneys are amazing, but the attorney's job is to protect you, the consumer, and carry through the contract. The attorney's job is not to negotiate. That's the job of your broker. They didn't listen to me, and every day I was urging them to sign the contract as per the instructions of the listing agent. She kept calling me, Margot, why aren't they signing the contract? They felt I was pressuring them. They wanted to change the terms, which they didn't. Their attorney said, oh, it's not a big deal. And I warned them and said, these are pain points for the seller. Different issues that seemingly were trivial, but for the seller, that was a pain point. And I warned them, if you don't sign, you're going to lose this deal. They had the contract at $2.3 million. They lost it. Quickly afterwards, we got a new buyer, and he had the deal for 2.4. So the first buyer should have grabbed it at 2.3, even with whatever issues were on the contract that would have cost them another 40, 50,000. They still would have been ahead, and the seller was happy to sell it to them at that price. But in the interim, as when time goes by on a deal, more people find out about it. So when I was in the property with their inspector, once they got the contract, this is the first buyer, people saw me, people understood that it's probably for sale, reached out to the seller and offered the seller 2.4. When the seller said, I'm in contract for 2.3, oh, we'll give you 2.4. And they were developers. And because it has a lot of air rights means they could go up and up and up, and they wanted to build. And they told that to the seller, and the seller would have honored the contract at 2.3 Why? Because money isn't always everything. It was an estate, and the children grew up in that property and wanted to maintain the love that they were raised with, and would have preferred to sell the property to a family, an end user. Even if this developer was offering them more money, they would have kept the deal at 2.3 to the family, but then that buyer just wasn't, not interested, not signing, trying to switch the terms, and the seller didn't want to have it. And I warned them, but they didn't listen to me. What could I do? So as soon as the deal was pulled away from them because they didn't want to sign as per the terms of the contract, they said quickly get someone else, but they raised it to 2.4 because they had a 2.4 offer on the table. So we got a buyer, a family, very deserving. They were going to be very happy there. And it's a multi-family property. It's humongous. And they're going to hopefully make an income, use it as an income generator to help offset the mortgage. But they're going to be very happy. It's a beautiful property on a beautiful block. And the cherry on the top is that, how did I get it? How did I connect with these sellers? Because I prospected, I door knocked. And that, my friends, is the basics. You don't buy leads. I've never paid $1 for buying leads from Zillow or any other company or source that are trying to get real estate agents like me to pay companies to give us leads. No, I never did that, ever. Because no one's going to give me a lead for no money in the world. I door knock. In the state of New York, we're still in a state of emergency and we're not allowed to cold call, no problem, but we could door knock. So when the original buyer said to me, Margola, we want a house on this block, that was when I said, no problem. When a buyer tells me, and it's a qualified buyer, and they say, I want a property on such and such block, I go to work, I'll spend 2 hours of my day, and I door knock on every door. Sure, I got people that slam the door on me, no big deal. Because the art is of conversation. How does a real estate broker become successful? The buyer just asked me this afternoon at the closing, how do you do it? How do you get all the deals? I'm no smarter than the next broker, not at all. It's just conversation. You got to be engaging, do the work, speak to total strangers, and out of those multiple conversations, that one afternoon in September, someone pointed their finger to a certain property on the block, went to them, and I'm closing on the other property next week, and that property told me, but you know what? My neighbor's ready to sell right now. It's going to take us a minute. And so that's how I connected with the property we sold this afternoon, 1208 Carroll. And I'll be closing on 1202 Carroll next week. So that's all it is, my friends. It's no secret. The secret sauce is in the work. Back to basics. You door knock, you send postcards, you make phone calls. That's all it is. And that's the success of us real estate agents, to bring to you, the consumer, the properties that you want, that are unattainable. That's all it is. Be blessed, happy selling, happy house hunting, and just continue doing whatever you're doing and love what you do.